Today we're going to speak about the geometrical sequence. It is a sequence where the ratio of any term to the previous term is constant, which is called common ratio. So here we are not going to subtract like the arithmetic sequence. We're going to divide because it's a ratio between two numbers. And how do I know if it's a geometrical sequence or if it's an arithmetic sequence? In the geometrical sequence, I will find that the numbers are going to get very big in just 2 or 3 terms. From 4 up to 108 in only 4 terms, which means it is going to be extremely bigger than the arithmetic sequence. How do I get the rule? The rule says an equal a1, which is the first term, and then r to the power of n minus 1. Remember the n minus 1 from the arithmetic sequence? But it was multiplied. This time it's going to be the power of the r. a1, which is 4. a2, which is 4 times 3. a3, which is 4 times 3 times 3. And then a4, which is 4 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times. a5, 4 times 3, 4 times. What do I get from all this? The ratio between the 12 and the 4 is 3. The ratio between 36 and 12 is 3. The ratio between 108 and 36 is 3. That's my ratio. And then I put n minus 1. For a1, I had n, which is r, which is 3. N minus 1, which is 1 minus 1 to become a 0. So it is 3 to the power of 0 becomes 1. 4 times 3, which is 2 minus 1 becomes 3 to the power of 1, as we see here, which is equal to 12. And then 4 times 3 to the power of 2. Why? Because my n was 3. 3 minus 1 becomes 2. And so on. How do I write a rule for the nth term of the sequence? If this is my sequence, I need to get, I already know my first term, of course, because it's obvious, this is 6. What about my ratio? How do I get it? I divide 24 divided by 6, I get the 4. 96 divided by 24, I get the 4. And then 384 divided by 96, I get the 4. This is my constant ratio. Now let's plug them in my rule, which is an equal a1 r n minus 1. I'm going to put the a1, which was the 6, and then the r, which was the 4, to the power of n minus 1, and I found my rule. How can I get the term, the 7th term, a7? I just plug in 7 instead of the n. Take away the n and put the 7. I get my answer. Now, write a rule for the nth term when? If I do have a4 and r, I don't have a1. Remember here, I don't have a1. I only have a4. So, the rule would say a4 equal a1 r n minus 1, which is 4 minus 1. Let's put what we know into this rule. a4, which is 64, equal a1, which I don't know, r, which I know, to the power of 3, which I know also because I know this is the 4th term. N minus 1, which is 4 minus 1, becomes 3. 4 to the power of 3 is 64. 64 equal a1 64. I get a1 as 1. Now let's put a rule for that. 1, which is a1, r, which is 4, to the power of n minus 1. And that's my number. Again, if I have a3, and it is equal to negative 12, and r, and I don't have a1, what am I going to do? I'm going to say, okay, a3 equal a1, r, 3 minus 1, which is to the power of 2. Let's see what we have. We have a3, which is negative 12, a1 I don't know, I didn't have it, and then r, which is minus 2 to the power of 2. Minus 2 to the power of 2 is 4. And minus 12 equal a1, 4. So by dividing both of them by 4, I get that a1 equal negative 3. Let's put it in the rule. an equal minus 3 minus 2 to the power n minus 1. Remember, always and ever, when you want to write your rule, don't forget to write your r between two brackets to make sure that if it's a minus, you are going to have the power for the whole minus 2. Not only the 2, but the negative sign as well. So even though here you don't have a negative, but you still are going to put it between two brackets. Why? Because you need to make it a habit that when you put the R in between two brackets. Let me have another example. This time our example is going to have A3 and A7. No R, no A1. So what am I going to do? I'm going to substitute 2 times. I'm going to have first A3 equal negative 64, which is equal to A1 R, which I don't know also, to the power of n minus 1, which means 2. This is my first equation. My second equation, A7 negative 1 over 4 equal A1 R to the power of 6. And then I'm going to solve those 2 equations simultaneously. What am I going to do? I'm going to put them on top of each other. This is a very good idea, to put them on top of each other. Solving them not by subtracting, but by dividing. Why? Because I need to get an answer that is R to the power. Remember, I'm solving here to find the ratio or the A1. Easier to just cancel A1 with A1 and have R to the power of 6, which is here. 6 minus 2, I'm going to have R to the power of 4. Minus 1 over 4, minus 64. They give me 1 over 256. So I'll find the fourth root of 1 over 256. I get the R, which is 1 over 4. Now, let me substitute and find the rule. 64 equal 81, 1 over 4, power 2. I've substituted with the R. I'm going to get A1, which is negative 1024. Let's put it in the rule. AN equal negative 1024 bracket, which is the R, 1 over 4 n minus 1. Is there a quick and clever way to do that? Yes, there is. The quick way for A7 to A3. From A7 to A3, how many terms are there? From A7 to A3, I have 4 terms. So how many ratios do I have? I have 4 ratios. So I'm going to say, okay, this is R4. R4 is the ratio between the A7 to the A3. Remember to put the A7 on top. Even if it's smaller, I don't care. I only care about having A7 on top of A3. So A7 on top of A3, I get R to be 1 over 4.